हाउ डू यू मेजर योर बिजनेस? लाइक आप नंबर्स देखते हो कि ग्रोथ देखते हो, कैसे देखते हो?
One product, many solutions.
आपके पास इनिशियल चैलेंजेस क्या थे?
And suddenly we found out Zinda Tismat ka orders were growing.
How did the name Zinda Tilismat got coined?
That is something that my grandfather gave. And that's the time I realized Zinda Tilismat is not a product. It's a trust that we are selling. You know, it's a belief. And Zinda Tilismat, basically, when you asked me, the name was Zinda is life. The Tilismat is magic. So the name is Zinda Tilismat, live magic. It is very easy for us to spread across India. There are people who trust a company, and we have to keep that trust. That is the biggest challenge for us.
Mr. Imad, thank you so much for coming to Way to News. कैसे हो आप?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me, Aditya. Nice to be here.
राइट सर, आपके ब्रांड के बारे में बताने की ज़रूरत इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है क्योंकि सारे लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं, हर घर में है अभी, राइट? बट तेलुगु स्टेट्स के लिए अपने आप को आप खुद इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहते हो तो आप कैसे इंट्रोड्यूस करोगे?
So basically, क्या है? My name is Imad Farooqi. So I am the third generation of Zinda Tilismat. My grandfather started it, and my father, my uncles were the second generation. Now we are the third generation, or you can say second generation. The first generation was my father and all. So when ऑलरेडी हम तेलुगु स्टेट जो है हमारा तेलंगाना, पहले रॉयल सीमा जो था, ग्रेटर रॉयल सीमा, वी वर पार्ट ऑफ दैट, जो निज़ाम स्टेट बोलते हैं आप. सो अभी भी हमारा स्ट्रॉन्ग प्रेजेंस है वो एरियाज़ में. एंड like I said, I'm the second generation, so to say. And there's been a long journey. Whether you talk about Zinda Tilismat is basically more than a product. It's a belief. It's a क्या बोलते हैं आप? It's a commitment. It's a trust. So that trust is something that we have built over 100 years. So officially 1920. So 2020 we have 100 years, but actually it is little more than that. क्योंकि जब स्पेनिश फ्लू आया था, that is when my grandfather started this company.
Okay, understood. उन्होंने जब शुरू किया था उसको, स्पेनिश फ्लू आपने बोला था जिसकी वजह से वो शुरू हुआ है बोल के. डू यू रिमेम्बर दोस टाइम्स, वो दिन जैसे कैसे शुरू हुआ था और कौन किए थे, क्या क्या हुआ था उस टाइम पे?
See, obviously I was not born, so even I don't think my father was also born then, but my grandfather was a Hakim. So he was if you know, people know that Hakim is a Unani doctor, so to say. And then he wanted to help people. So that's how Zinda Tilismat was born. So he thought that Zinda Tilismat will help a lot of people who are dying, who are trying to, falling sick. So उनके लिए उन्होंने बनाया था actually. So and it helped a lot of people. उनके जब वो ज़माने में काफ़ी लोगों को फ़ायदा हुआ सब. Then I think 1920 में he decided कि ये क्योंकि इतना फ़ायदा हो रहा सबको, we will try to get it little more commercial in the sense, ये दवा उन्होंने बनाया for people who could not afford expensive medicines. That was the whole idea. And he said कि अगर सबको फ़ायदा हो जाएगा उसमें, so that was the whole concept of how it started. And basically उन्होंने काफ़ी free distribution किया, लोगों को जा के treat किया वो ज़माने में. And then that's how it actually started getting popularity. And then लोगों ने see, Zinda Tilismat is one product which has many problem solving solutions है उसके पास. Whether sore throat या cough ले लो, या stomach ले लो, या rash ले लो, या diarrhea ले लो. So these are things that one product solves a lot of problems. It gives a lot of solutions. तो इसलिए वो प्रोडक्ट इतना पॉपुलर हो गया कि आज अगर हम चाहें भी तो वो प्रोडक्ट ऐसा लॉन्च नहीं कर सकते. I mean, there is no such product. To be honest, there is no direct competition of Zinda Tilismat, and that is why we have survived for, and we are growing. In 100 years, एक प्रोडक्ट पे हम चल गए, मतलब obviously that product has to have strength. अदरवाइज कोई प्रोडक्ट चलेगा नहीं. आप लॉन्च कर सकते हैं मैनी प्रोडक्ट्स, बट जब तक ट्रस्ट नहीं होगा जब तक चलेगा नहीं.
राइट. सो इनिशियली जब उन्होंने फ्री डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया, लोगों के पास गए और इलाज किया, सारी चीज़ें की हैं, वो ट्रस्ट वाला जो फैक्टर है वो कितना जल्दी आया था, और या नहीं तो कितना टाइम लगा था उसके बाद?
देखिए कोई भी प्रोडक्ट जब यूज़ करते हैं तो उसका जो इफ़ेक्ट है वो इफ़ेक्ट होना चाहिए। आई मीन जो आप कोई चीज़ के लिए दे रहे हैं तो अगर उस पे काम नहीं करेगा तो देन ऑब्वियसली वो एक वक्त सेकंड मैक्सिमम सेकंड टाइम उसके बाद कोई यूज़ नहीं करेगा। सो ये ट्रस्ट इसलिए बिल्ड हुआ क्योंकि वो इफ़ेक्टिव था। इट वाज द मोस्ट इफ़ेक्टिव मेडिसिन एट दैट टाइम। और जैसा जैसा वो यूज़ होते गए पीपल स्टार्टेड बिलीविंग मोर और उनको ऊपर भरोसा आ गया वो कि जिंदा तिलिस्मात इज समथिंग दैट गिव्स यू अ लॉट ऑफ। एक तो इट वाज नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट, कोई केमिकल नहीं है उसमें इवन टुडे। सो द कोर इज स्टिल द सेम। और उसमें ये ट्रस्ट जो स्लोली ओवर द जनरेशंस जो बिल्ड किए हैं दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द यूसेज द उसका जो फायदा हुआ लोगों को, वो फायदे के तरफ से ही लोगों को ट्रस्ट बढ़ते गया एंड दैट्स हाउ इट स्टार्टेड जनरेशंस ओवर जनरेशंस। द थर्ड जनरेशन इज नाउ यूजिंग इट।
करेक्ट, अंडरस्टूड। सो एडॉप्शन जो है आपको क्या लगता है क्यों आया था जिंदा तिलिस्मात के लिए?
हाँ, तो एक तो ये था कि वन प्रोडक्ट मेनी सॉल्यूशंस मेरे हिसाब से। तो यूनिक चीज़ थी ये, एंड इस वास्ते यूनिक थी ये, जैसा मैं आपको अभी बताया, क्योंकि इट सॉल्व सो मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स। एंड वो टाइम पे अगर समझो कॉमन कॉमन एलिमेंट्स थे ना, ये सर्दी खांसी पेट का दर्द, दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट हैपन ऑन अ नॉर्मल बेसिस। आपको हमेशा हमेशा आपको डॉक्टर के पास जाने के बजाय फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ एक्शन इज जिंदा तिलिस्मात। तो इवन आज भी टुडे कुछ भी हुआ तो फर्स्ट पीपल डू इज जिंदा तिलिस्मात। इवन मैं जैसे जैसे आपको बताते जाता हूँ आगे कि क्या क्या चीज़ों के लिए और यूज़ कर सकते हैं आप। देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स दैट पीपल हैव यूज्ड जो हमको भी नहीं पता था। हमको भी कस्टमर्स फीडबैक देते कि हमने इसके लिए यूज़ किया, हमने उसके लिए यूज़ किया। वी हैव हमारे पास एक लीफलेट है जिस पे हम वेरी क्लियरली लिखे हैं कि क्या क्या चीज़ वी हैव यूज्ड ओवर द इयर्स, ट्रस्टेड एंड इट वर्क्स रियली वेल। तो वो हमने प्रिंट किया, बट वी कैन नॉट प्रिंट सो मेनी थिंग्स दैट कस्टमर्स डू गिव अस ए फीडबैक, बट एक लिमिटेशन है। वी कैन ओनली प्रिंट अ सर्टन थिंग्स विच आर वेरी कॉमनली प्रॉब्लम्स जो होते हैं। तो दैट इज हाउ द ट्रस्ट स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग। जो सोल्यूशन आप जो बोल रहे हैं, अडेप्टेशन जो बोल रहे हैं आप, अडेप्टेशन इसलिए हो गया कि एक शीशी में इतने काम करेंगे तो यू डोंट नीड डिफरेंट मेडिसिन फॉर ईच प्रॉब्लम। सो दैट्स हाउ इट अडेप्ट जल्दी हो गया वो।
ओके, स्टोरी को थोड़ा आगे करने से आपका फादर के पास वो बिजनेस आने के टाइम तक कैसे कैसे ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस हुए थे, उन्होंने कब उनको एक्चुअली हैंडल करना शुरू किया था, एंड व्हाट वाज द जर्नी लाइक?
सी, जहाँ तक मुझे बोला गया, क्योंकि आई हैव नॉट सीन माई ग्रैंडफादर बिकॉज ही डाइड एट अ वेरी अर्ली एज, but he was, whatever I have heard from my father, my uncles and things like that, he was a genius. I mean, अगर मैं आपको आगे आगे सुनाऊंगा कि क्या क्या चीज़ें उन्होंने किया है that period, तो आप खुद बोलोगे कि he was ahead of his time, genius. तो basically when my uncle, he was the eldest one, my father was the second one. He was, I think, 17 years when his father died, my grandfather died. So he had elder sisters, but nobody to guide him to take over the factory. But he had no choice. So उनको ले जाके factory, but at 17 age without experience, so he learned on the job, and that is the reason why थोड़ा सा हमको वो period में sort of drawback हो गया, क्योंकि lot of learning had to be done from scratch because business was there, trust was there. मगर उसको आगे लेके जाने के लिए my uncle, my father, मेरे पास चार भाई थे हम लोग। तो my eldest uncle was the one who was initially looking after, then my father वो तो थे भी नहीं, वो जर्मनी में लेदर टेक्नोलॉजी करने चले गए थे, but because his father he passed away, my grandfather, he had to come back and join the company. So there were issues that time about handling and things like that. So then again my other uncle joined, but the whole point is they went through the learning curve. Because my grandfather died at early age, he was not able to pass on that knowledge to that business acumen to these people, and that is why I think थोड़ा सा हमको drawback हो गया वो, but because the product was so strong, that they were able to learn and adapt to taking it forward. That's how. So basically, they did not learn from the father, from the business. They inherited something which was more than a product. It was, they inherited trust that we did also, and that's how, because it was, that they had not much to do. Zinda Small should sell on its own because of the reputation, it's the trust, it's the name. जो था वो खुद ही बिकता था, तो उनके लिए वो एडवांटेज मिल गया उनको थोड़ा, दो बीइंग अ डिसएडवांटेज ऑफ नॉट लर्निंग फ्रॉम हिज फादर, बट ये एडवांटेज मिल गया कि जिंदा स्मार्ट कुड होल्ड ऑन इट्स ओन, and that's how they started getting into that company.
Okay, so how is it transition to you? आपने कैसे कब लिया था और कैसे चल रहा है?
हाँ, तो बेसिकली क्या हुआ, मैं एज माई पर्सनल जर्नी, व्हेन आई वाज इन कॉलेज,
क्या पढ़ा था आपने, कहाँ पढ़ा था
हाँ,
सारी चीजें?
मैं पहले ग्रेजुएशन किया बीकॉम, फिर मैं एमबीए किया फ्रॉम मुखमजा, सुल्तान आई थिंक इट इज़ कॉल्ड, मुखमजा बोलते हैं हम लोग. बट आफ्टर दैट, बट व्हेन आई वाज इन इंटर, मेरे को बहुत शौक था इंडस्ट्री का, मैकेनिकल थिंग्स का. सो आई यूज्ड टू, मेरे पास जो भी फ्री टाइम था, आई यूज्ड टू गो टू द फैक्ट्री. मैं बैठता था अंकल्स के साथ, आई यूज्ड टू लर्न फ्रॉम व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, आई यूज्ड टू अटेंड द मीटिंग जस्ट लाइक दैट, ऐसे ही जस्ट मेरे इंटरेस्ट के लिए, नथिंग मोर देन दैट. सो उनके प्रॉब्लम्स क्या थे, उनको थोड़े थोड़े प्रॉब्लम्स आना शुरू हो गए थे. वन फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम जो उनको आया था, फिलिंग, आउटसोर्स करते थे फिलिंग. पहले हम लोग हाथ से भरते थे, हमारा लेबर भरता था. सो देन समबडी केम एंड सेड हम आउटसोर्स करके हम आपको मशीन से भर के देंगे. दिस वाज, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑलमोस्ट इन 80s की बात है, लेट 80s. देन अगेन वो आई थिंक वो एक साल कुछ किए, देन ही स्टॉप्ड. सो देन मैं कॉलेज से जाता था, सो आई सेड, दे आस्क्ड मी कैन यू डू द फिलिंग. तो उन्होंने एक मशीन किसी के पास ऑर्डर किया था अंकल, एंड आई यूज्ड टू फॉलो अप एवरी डे. वो मेरे को लगा दिए थे कि आप जाके चेक करो, बट ऑब्वियसली सम रीजन मशीन आता नहीं था. सो देन ही आस्क्ड मी, इफ यू वांट, यू आर टेकिंग सो मच इंटरेस्ट, तुम खुद कर लो. तो आई सेड ठीक है. तो आई वेंट टू चेन्नई, आई बॉट अ मशीन, सेमी ऑटोमेटिक मशीन, फिलिंग मशीन. आई स्टार्टेड फिलिंग फॉर देम, and I did this for almost 15 years without joining the company. फिर I was doing that regularly on a regularly basis. I used to fill for them and give it to them. And then उसके बाद उनको और एक प्रॉब्लम आया. उनके पास जो ग्लास बॉटल था वो कलकत्ता से आता था. वो कलकत्ता में शॉर्टेज हो गया, एंड दे वर नॉट एबल टू, एंड सम बीच में ट्रांसपोर्ट का भी प्रॉब्लम हो गया, तो दे वर नॉट एबल टू गेट दोज बॉटल्स. So then they asked me, so I only suggested, I said, sir, why don't we, मैं डैड को बोला कि why don't we put up a plant here itself. तो बोले नहीं, वो they were not ready to do. I said, let me do it. So then I got the machine from Calcutta. Initially I got a second hand machine from Calcutta. Then whatever जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी था सब यूज करके मैं यहाँ पे प्रोडक्शन शुरू किया ग्लास का. So that's how I got more involved in Zindat Al-Ismat, one by one. And then I started supplying these bottles for them, कांच के bottles. Then again same thing happened with plastic bottles of tooth powder. Then I started supplying those. Like that I started getting into the company. Then उसके बाद ये तो चल रहा था, तो this was, उसके बाद then I thought कि भाई ये तो चल रहा है, then what do I do? So I went into a dealership. I had a Suzuki dealership. But my uncle used to always come and tell me, sit with me there and said, क्यों किसी के लिए काम कर रहे हो तुम, when अपना खुद है, तुम क्यों नहीं कंपनी ज्वाइन करते हो. तो मैं बोलता था उनको, आपके पास ऑलरेडी आप लोग है, वाई वुड आई वांट टू कम. नहीं सर, नहीं तुम दूसरों के लिए क्यों करते, वही काम अपनी कंपनी के लिए करो. ही यूज्ड टू कीप टेलिंग मी दैट ऑलवेज. एंड देन आई यूज्ड टू टेल हिम कि आप लोग है ना, लेट यू कंटिन्यू बोल के. बट चला वैसे ही चला. देन आई गॉट इनटू कंस्ट्रक्शन, थोड़ा मैंने एक दो बिल्डिंग्स बनाए. बट देन व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, उसके बाद मैं, अंकल पास्ड अवे, माय फादर पास्ड अवे, एंड देन एंड सडनली आई फाउंड कि देयर वाज अ नीड फॉर मी टू जॉइन द कंपनी, एंड देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ pressure from some of the family members कि you must join. So then I sold off my Suzuki dealership to somebody else. And then I sort of joined this company. That's how my journey began with this company as a full time, like a management. Otherwise मैं बाहर का तो कर रहा था, but I was लकीली फॉर मी ये था कि आई यूज टू, क्योंकि विजिट फैक्ट्री ऑल द टाइम, आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम देम व्हाट मिस्टेक्स दे वर डूइंग और व्हाट द गुड थिंग्स दे वर डूइंग, यू नो, ये सब से मैंने सीखा। 30 साल मैंने ऐसे ही किया विदाउट विदाउट ज्वाइनिंग द कंपनी, ऑलमोस्ट फ्रॉम 19 से 87 1888 से मैं कंपनी रेगुलरली जाता था, एंड आई थिंक 2016 इज व्हाट आई ज्वाइंड एक्चुअली। सो वो पीरियड का I had a lot of experience, you know, in dealing with, watch them deal with labor, with staff, with dealers, with departments. So that's how I got a lot of experience watching them. And then eventually when I had an opportunity, yeah, then I sort of joined.
ओके, अंडरस्टूड सर। जब आपने ओनरशिप पूरी तरह से ले लिया था एंड व्हेन यू वेंट इनसाइड, आपके पास इनिशियल चैलेंजेस क्या थे?
हाँ, बहुत चैलेंजेस थे, इसलिए कि थोड़े मेरे कजन्स ऑलरेडी थे, सो उनको ये फील होना, यू नो, कि आई माइट कम एंड ओवर पावर देम, उनको ये नहीं फील होना चाहता कि आई एम कमिंग टू शो देम, यू नो, कि भाई आई एम बेटर देन देम और समथिंग लाइक दैट। हालांकि मेरा इंटेंशन कभी था नहीं, बट ऑब्वियसली इनसिक्योरिटी रहती है किसी को। So see, more than those people who are watching this thing, I want to tell them that you may be extremely talented, you may be very good acumen with your business, you have excellent thing, but in a family run business, you have to manage a lot of things, right? You have to first create a trust. How do you create a trust? Over time, you have to, how you behave with family, how you know, they need to understand this guy is honest, this guy is, you know, he will not dupe us, he has the capacity to do certain things, you know, he can be a, you know, among so many people, they trust you. So that's how you need to get. So eventually there was a lot of objection, you know, there was a lot of resistance, but then I had to talk with them and tell them कि भाई I'm here not to do, you know, against you, it is, we need to do it together. And then slowly, obviously एक साथ बोलने से तो होता नहीं है वो, it took some time, a year or 2 years for them to understand कि I'm not here to, you know, project myself as the one and all. We have to do, each one has a different role, we have to do our roles accordingly, and if we all do our roles accordingly, then this company can grow. Otherwise, if we are going to not work together, whether it is whatever it is, I mean, this is a family owned business which we inherited, right? So we have to make sure that we keep that trust of the customers that have been you know, given to us, plus at the same time make sure that the company still survives, because if you fight internally, it's not going to survive. Eventually generally third generation businesses बंद हो जाते, and most of the cases बंद इस वास्ते होते हैं क्योंकि internal जो उनके fights रहते हैं, they are not able to solve, because somebody wants something, somebody says no I want this, I don't trust you, ये चक्कर में पूरा बंद हो जाता। and that was the main aim कि ये कंपनी को चलाना है, बंद नहीं करना है, and that is the main core, and that is the challenge we had to face. Then there were other challenges, labor challenge था, union था, union के हमारे ऐसा है कि union wants all the benefits but they don't want to work. ये problem है हर union का, I won't say every union, but at least हमारे पास ये issues थे, you know, they want all benefits, हर चीज़ चाहिए, मगर उनको जैसा काम के बारे में बोलते हैं वो काम नहीं करेंगे, you know, they are so used to that kind of easy money that they don't want to work. आप बोलते हैं कि ठीक है भाई, you have other people coming in as a temporary labor or whatever, they don't want you to have that because they know कि बाहर वाला आएगा तो ज़्यादा काम करेगा तो फिर हमारी वैल्यू कम हो जाएगी. But somehow I figured out a way that we have to, you know, for the company's sake, I cannot just please them all the time, but I have to run the company as well. So मैंने थोड़ा, you know, I outsource करके मैंने labor मंगाया from a different company. And I figured out that they are giving me twice the production that these people were giving, and then they had objections. So I said, "Bhai, you give, I have no problem. You take money, I have no problem. But आप काम तो करो." But वो problem है union का कि they think, you know, they have this political support, they have this labor support, they have all support from the government, from everywhere, but they don't want to. So company वाले union के साथ at till the laws change in India, I think it's just unions are still a struggle. मेरे लिए. I mean, we don't mind paying, as long as the company is making profits and they are. भाई आप काम तो करो. When I bought a fully, the simple example is when I bought a fully automated machine, which they used to pack by hand, fully carton, complete automated plant. They want to do the same kind of work that the production they were giving with the hand. They saying इतना दे दिया हमने, इतना हमारा कोटा है. So this is how it, where suppose if for example अगर वो समझे एक लेबर 3 कार्टन देता है for production, ये मशीन ऑलमोस्ट 70-80 कार्टन देगी आपको एक ही शिफ्ट में, राइट. बट व्हाट दे विल डू इज दे विल से कि नहीं हम समझो आप 4 आदमी को लगाए, दे विल थिंक मेरा कोटा कितना है 3 है, तो 4 इंटू 12 15 कार्टन हम दे देंगे खाली, तो हमें 15 दे देना आपको. They will do something or the other. So fighting with the union is something that for the benefit, they also need to understand कि भाई आपका हम फायदा, हमारे को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, but we need to work, we need the company to grow. A lot of issues I had and I've done benefits for them also, like we used to give them medical amount every month, हम कुछ पैसे देते थे उनको. So I told them ये कुछ फायदा नहीं है, तुम खा पी के उड़ा देते हो. If there is a emergency, your family will suffer. So I told them I'll get insurance for all of you. And there was a lot of resistance from all of them. But I said nothing doing because, and I was paying double the amount to what actually I was paying. But I said you need to understand this is for your benefit. But problem क्या है, कुछ अच्छा भी करो ना तो उनको लगता है ये लोग कुछ चाल चल रहे हैं. So that is a mental mind problem. You can't do anything. But eventually when I put my foot down. I said this is for your family. So some of them understood and they said तो एक साल पहले किए, फिर बोले नहीं चाहिए, फिर उसमें 3-4 लोग को बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ. एंड सम नॉट दैट आई वांट टू सेइंग बट दे केम एंड क्राइड ऑन माय फीट एंड दे सेड सर आपके तरफ से आज हमारी फैमिली बच गई, हमारा बच्चा बच गया, हमारी बीवी बच गई, व्हाटएवर, बिकॉज 2-3 लाख के बिल्स, आजकल मेडिकल इज़ वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. 2-3 लाख के बिल्स दे वर नॉट एबल टू अफोर्ड इट. लोन्स में बिकॉज ऑफ दिस दे गेट इनटू लोन्स एंड देन इट्स अ साइकिल दैट दे डोंट कम आउट. सो टुडे उसके बाद मैं उनको बोला ठीक है मैं अभी मेडिकल दे देता हूँ. नाउ नोबडी वांट्स, दे सेइंग नहीं हमको पैसे नहीं चाहिए, आप इंश्योरेंस ही दे दो. सो समटाइम्स दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, बट यू हैव टू पुट योर फुट डाउन बिकॉज for the benefit of them, for them also, for the company, for them also, for their families, sometimes they are not well educated to understand what I am trying to do. So then now they have also got that trust कि भाई sir हमारे लिए अच्छा ही कर रहे हैं. So those things happen. So these are things that we had to fight.
अंडरस्टूड सर. सुमन, आई एम वेरी श्योर आप जब इतना सारी चीज़ें लेबर और यूनियंस और इसके साथ फाइट कर रहे थे, इसी बीच में आपका ओनरशिप लेने के बाद कोविड भी आया था बीच में, राइट? COVID was your first struggle maybe?
Yeah, first struggle as a company, yes, because 2019 में start हुआ COVID, 2020 March was the lockdown, and if I'm not mistaken, March 20th was the lockdown. It happened, and we had to shut down. Now the thing was, I was sure that not that I'm claiming anything, but I was sure that Zinda Talisman could be benefit in many ways. जो breathing problems हो रहे थे COVID में, some of the symptoms that were happening during COVID, people had COVID. मेरे को I was pretty sure कि वो Zinda Talisman से थोड़ा फ़ायदा होगा उनको. Eventually I tried to convince my uncle. At that time he was alive, and then I told him कि let's get this done. But he was a little scared. Obviously with his age and things like that, he was a little scared. He was a little scared for the company also because labor था and how it will happen if something happens. So I told him, see, benefit बहुत जनों का ज़्यादा होने वाला है, we must start the company. So but I said ठीक है, so I wore that PTD kit जो आता है ना पूरा complete. So मैं घर से सुबह में पहन के निकलता था. I used to go to the factory. So April 5th I went to the factory. I called a few people, my trusted जो भी मेरे staff था, जो भी था, they came, and we took all precautions obviously. जितना भी हमने वो जो भी हमको चाहिए था, स्प्रेइंग ये वो पूरा हमने किया. देन वी स्टार्टेड द कंपनी. आई सेड वी हैव टू स्टार्ट. सो देन लेबर वाज नॉट रेडी टू कम, मोस्ट ऑफ देम. इवेंचुअली टिल फॉर 14-15 days वी वर्कड विद स्मॉल लेबर. वी यूज्ड टू गो एवरी डे, एंड सडनली वी फाउंड आउट कि जिंदा तिस्मात का ऑर्डर्स वे ग्रोइंग. and then people, I think somewhere or there they were using and उनको benefit हो रहा था. And हमने कुछ advertisement नहीं किया, हमने कभी claim नहीं किया, but the people themselves said that it was working something or the other, whether breathing, whether जो भी उनको बॉडी पेन्स थे या जो भी था, नज़ला खांसी मेन कॉमन हो रहे थे ना, स्टार्टिंग विद नज़ला खांसी, तो it was working very well with them. So suddenly the demand started to grow. So eventually 5th April I started, and by 1st May I had the entire company, because I had to give them notices to obviously come and work. So 1st May and full strength of company started working. And the demand, luckily for me, मैंने एक extra machine लिया था from China just for a backup. And that time that was a very good decision, I thought. And when you think about it, go back, उसमें हमने क्या किया, when we started production, the demand was so much that we fell short. So we started one more shift. Again it fell short. Then we started one more shift. But we had to get temporary labor. We did everything possible. And then at that time I believe लोगों को फ़ायदा कुछ ना कुछ तो हो रहा था definitely, क्योंकि हमारा 300% growth था वो time पे. And for almost 2 years 300% growth पे we worked. And that's the time I realized that Zinda Talismat is not a product, it's a trust that we are selling. It's a belief that this works for you. And not that I'm claiming anything, but हमारा जितना भी जो स्टाफ ना बोलता हूँ, लेबर जो था, जो पैकिंग में था और जो फिलिंग में था, उनको एक जनों को भी कोविड नहीं हुआ. That is something, a miracle, to be honest, I would say. I don't know how that happened, maybe because they were inhaling that, and that's how. But I'm not claiming anything, but I'm just saying it didn't happen. Not a single one got COVID. And obviously for 2 years we really worked really hard. And that is the time when, I had help from my cousins and everybody. And then we worked together, obviously, to get this through. So that was the first challenge, but it went into an advantage to us as a company. As a company, then what I did was I went to the deputy. I want to do something for the society also. It is not just about making money. Since I thought so much demand, and obviously it was helping a lot of people. So I went to a deputy commissioner of my area, Ambarpet. He is now the Cyberabad commissioner, Mr. Ramesh. So I met him. I said, sir, I want to help, because your policemen are already outside working and all that. I want to help them. He said, I have 20,000 policemen. I said, I'll give all 20,000. I'll give free to all 20,000. I gave 20,000 bottles to him first initially. Then he took me to the commissioner at that time. And he said, okay, we'll distribute to other areas also. So like that, I distributed quite a few thousands of bottles free of cost to all of them. And they really appreciated it. And I felt that there's something we have to give back to the society. If it's working, why not? I mean, it's something. And I think that also gave me a lot of trust and belief, and something that gave us confidence, okay, the customer is also.
I feel you found your brand emotion there completely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
See, what happened was, earlier when we started, we realized we used to sell in medical halls and things. But we realized that it was now selling in general stores. And everybody who used to buy Zinda Talismat, it was like a daily, every monthly, you go for groceries.
Exactly.
So it was part of the grocery. So they used to keep one bottle at home, 100%. That's why we realized that it's now become a brand that is, it's a must-have at your home. And not that we did anything, but that's how the generation started. Obviously, not that we did. It was already in process, but we now pushed to it. We started doing major expansion of. In India, obviously, distribution network is a must. Without that, you can't do anything. So that's how we started distributing more. We had more distributors, more retailers. That's how the growth happened.
Okay, understood. So let's come to the point where we talk. How do you measure your business? Like, आप numbers देखते हो कि growth देखते हो, कैसे देखते हो?
See, हमारा ये है कि volume wise, if you talk about turnover wise, हमारा छोटा ही रहेगा, because हमारा SKU price से 70-80 rupees होता है.
Right.
So we have to think about volumes. So but when you think about volumes, we have to measure it कि भाई हम last year क्या किए थे. So that's how we think. See, the thing is now today if we want to expand तेलंगाना में तो हमारा strong base है ही है, मगर तेलंगाना में भी we are now working towards this Gachibowli and side area, because now that is a new part of Hyderabad. This extension is which has happened, and Gachibowli में सबसे बड़ा advantage ये है कि there is a influx of so much crowd from all over India because of the high tech, the software companies and all that, and there are a lot of people from all over India. So if we get to that, if we get everybody, major of them to start using Zinda Talisman to understand what it is very easy for us to spread across India. We are there, eventually we don't have distributors all over India right now. We have more strong in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra and Telangana. But we do sell online. 80% of our online sales are from the different part of the country, like West Bengal, Rajasthan, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, all these places, right? These are all places where online sales are pretty good. So obviously there is awareness. There are people who are using Zinda Smart. They are people who trust our company. So that's a really good sign, because earlier we would not know, and they had no opportunity to even order, because to get it from Hyderabad would take so many days. We would not, communication was a problem. How do they get to contact us or to the dealer? Now they can just go order online, Amazon. It's available on Amazon, our own website, Flipkart, many online sales. So that's a huge advantage that we are facing, and it gives us little confidence, that there are people who trust our company, and we have to keep that trust. Okay. That is the biggest challenge for us.
Understood. Last but one question that I have. How did the name Zinda Talismat got coined?
So that is something that my grandfather gave. So I'll give you a little brief about his thing. Like I said in the beginning, he was a genius, right? So initially he started thinking, I'm going to help the poor, and he did. He did a lot of social work. Then he said, okay, now since I'm earning a little bit, I want to start a school. I want to educate children. So in a factory itself, he used to have every day. He used to have a session after the factory where the area school children used to come and learn from there. He used to have a teacher there, and so he started doing that. But then he realized that it is so effective in many things that he thought, why not do it commercially. So what he did was, initially how he launched was, it was an interesting story. On a Friday afternoon, I'm talking about 1930s ki baat hai. During afternoon, what he did was, he had about 7-8 camels, right, with a lot of drums and everything. And at that time, suddenly it was like a mela sort of a thing. People used not make noise and all that. And immediately after the prayers, or after the, any church or temple, or after that. So what he did was, he started immediately after that, he used to put drums and make noise and songs, and he used to distribute Zinda Talisman to samples to everybody to use. That is one thing he did, and that suddenly everybody started, what is this Zinda Talisman, this one. And then he started he used to go in the night. At that time there was no electricity or something. He used to take the khandil, what do you call it, he used to go and put posters on the railway stations and things like that. And then what he used to do is, I'm being told all this, I've not seen it, but then he used to take his car. He had a old Ford 40 something.
So you said the painter part.
Yeah, so he used to take his car, get a painter along with him, and he used to travel from here, say on the highway. Wherever there was a big boulder, he used to have the painter paint on the boulder, on the rock, the flat rock, or wherever he found space. So throughout, from here to Mumbai, or from here to Bangalore, at that time there was Rayalaseema was part, Kurnool, everything was part of Rayalaseema. I think even Ballari was at that time part of Rayalaseema. So So he used to, each of these areas, he used to go and take these. So whenever anybody used to travel from here or come back, and even while coming back, they when entering the city, they used to always see these posters. So he was way ahead of his time. Now the hoarding system started very late in, maybe 70s, 80s, but he was already doing it then. And then he used to have these painted vehicles, with work going around the city, with the
Vocal
speaker,
speech,
yeah,
yeah.
he did a lot of all these activities, and today we are benefiting all because of that. And obviously today the modern thing is about social media, this and that, but that the base what he did, because of that, the and see, even today, if you can have a new product, you can spend crores in marketing, but if you don't have a product which works, you there's no point, because eventually it will fail, right? So you can even market it to a certain extent. You can say, okay, bhai, I'm saying, even if you have a golden product, you don't market, it's waste. So it's either way also. But at the same time, I'm saying the product should work. Once you do something, and that is the biggest challenge when we do our new products, when we launch our new products, that is the biggest challenge, because we have a legacy to maintain, and we have, any product that we come out has to be a lot of trust involved. And that is the reason why we take so much time in coming out with new products, because every product that we come out has to have that kind of efficacy, it has to have kind of results, and it needs to work properly, it needs to come out without chemicals.
Give the same amount of trust.
Yeah, you have to build that trust, because if you say it is a Zinda Smart product, people will blind. I'm telling you, initially they will. But if you lose that trust, you're losing something, the core of Zinda Smart. So that is what we don't want to do. And so the first thing what we do is, whenever we come out a product with any product, first of all we do a lot of research, we do a lot of sampling, we use it ourselves first, and only when we are satisfied we go ahead with the. So that's how we need to be very careful with our.
Okay. Right now, how many SKUs do you have? What are your products line like?
So, see, nowadays what we need to do is, people who are going to do business, especially who understand thing, there's a thing called general trade, GT, and modern trade. So, modern trade is something like DMart, Reliance, or even your online people. So, what happens is, for these online modern trade and online, what do you need to do? Need to have a bigger SKU, because the smaller SKU is basically like for general trade, because you can't give the same price to modern trade. So you have a bigger SKU with a better margin, and you give it to them with some kind of a promotion, something like that, because they ask for too many promotions. They really squeeze you, these people. And and what happens is, you're also protecting the general trade, because if you give this and they are you are giving them at a discount or a scheme, then these people will suffer, and we can't afford it actually, because we don't have that kind of margins in the smaller SKUs. So we have bigger SKUs only for modern trade, smaller SKUs for general trade. That's the trend now everybody is following, and we also started doing the same thing. So bigger SKUs like 15 ml, 30 ml is for modern trade. It is sold in like Apollo, DMart, everywhere else is these bigger SKUs. The smaller is for general trade, and that's how we safeguard our general trade also, and safeguard our product also. That's how it is.
I've recently seen that there was a balm also that got released.
Correct. So see, balm was already there long back, uh, and we used to do really well. But so happened that our name was Zinda Balm, and that time, I don't know, my father, it was a registered company, the name was registered, but when Zandu Balm came, they did not object to it. And Zandu Balm, obviously, we spent so much money, and it became a bigger brand, obviously, huge brand. And so what happened was, whenever somebody went and asked for Zinda Balm, they were given Zandu Balm. So what happens was, our product got
Split.
killed. Literally, it was wiped out, because nobody understood what is Zinda Balm then. And then everybody thought it was, to be honest, they thought Zandu Balm was ours. And then eventually, then we had to stop. Then we came out with a Zinda Talisman balm now. So now that is doing pretty well. It's growing on a daily basis. Over time, we have launched about I think 2 years back, and now we have come out with two SKUs. One is a cooler one is a stronger balm. So these are doing pretty well. Now we have come out with a mosquito repellent, which is also DEET free. DEET is a chemical which we don't want to use. Maybe it's not that harmful over a short period of time when you use it, in small quantities, but we still don't want to take a chance. We decided we will not use chemicals in our product, so this is a natural thing that we have come out with. We also tested it clinically over for anti inflammatory and all that, and it works really well. And we have tested it ourselves. We have used it on children, and it works really, really well, especially if even after the bites. Even after the bites, if you use it, it's the swelling and everything goes back. And it's a mosquito repellent basically, so it avoids it. So the thing is, it doesn't. The mosquito repellent, the mosquitoes will not bite. They won't get killed because we don't want it all strong, but they won't bite. So you can sit aram, so you can sit without. And it's a lotion. It's more like a lotion, so it's easily spreadable. It has this very good smell. So those things. So what we do is generally we have an industrial exhibition in Hyderabad.
Correct.
Right. So there are about, I think every day a lakh of people come there on a average basis. So we have a regular start for 100 years. We have almost 80 years maybe. From the time of the exhibition, we have been having this stall. So every new product where we launch after testing, the first thing we do is we launch in the exhibition. So from there we understand how the customers are coming back or not. So now this is only available online. Now we are going to get into the distribution part. The product is really good, and a lot of people ask me why haven't we not come back with a toothpaste yet. Our tooth powder is growing 40%. It grew 40% last year. Very surprising for us, because I thought the new Gen Z would not use. But see, again the same thing, efficacy. The product has so much value, whether it comes to bleeding of gums, whether sensitivity, whether cleanliness, everything. When you use it, you will understand how effective it is, and that is why I think by word of mouth, even that is suddenly growing. But the challenge for us for a toothpaste is that we didn't want to use chemical. SLS is a chemical which gives you the froth. We don't want to use that. We don't want to come out with any normal toothpaste which has no matlab. I don't want to say anything, but generally most of the toothpaste don't have too much working. So one of the things they might have, but not much. So we have been almost doing R&D for 3.5 years now for toothpaste. We are almost close to it. Hopefully next 6 months we should be able to get the toothpaste running, because I'm already testing it, and we are basically it has tooth powder also in it. We had challenges when we are putting tooth powder into the toothpaste, and without using SLS, without any chemicals. So that is a huge challenge for us. Like I said before, when we come out with something, it has to work. We cannot just come out with anything which does not work. So a lot of things are in pipeline now. Like we have a pain spray, pain liquid. We have agarbattis coming out, mosquito repellent and others. Slowly we are coming out. Most probably toothpaste will be out early as well. But only thing is, whatever we do, it has to be at the expectation level of the customer. We cannot just come out with anything. It has to be healthy, first of all, wellness. I mean, it should work. It should give you some health benefit. Otherwise, there's no problem. There's no point in coming out with anything. So that is our company policy, that we try to do, wellness products which basically give you health, some kind of benefit in your health.
Understood. Imad, thank you so much for coming to Weight News. It was a lovely conversation. बहुत सारे लोगों ने इस्तेमाल किया होगा, अभी भी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, घर में है, लेकिन किसी को भी पता नहीं होगा कि उसके पीछे इतना बड़ा स्टोरी है, इतने लोग बैठे हुए, इतने लोग किए हैं बोल के. उन सारे लोगों को आपने एड्रेस किया अच्छे से और बताया कि ये हमारा स्टोरी है बोल के.
One last thing before I go.
Sure.
See, even a lot of people use Zinda Talisman, but they don't read the
Instructions or-
instructions on it, because Zinda Til Smart is so effective for diarrhea that you know a lot of people don't know this. With a little of curd, 2 spoons of curd, if you put 10 drops in Zinda Til Smart and use it, first it will clear your body, entire stomach. Second, immediately you take 2 doses, and then 1 dose after the 2 hours. And you see how effective it is. I've been not using any medicine for last 35 years when it's diarrhea. I use only Zinda. It's that effective.
Okay.
So if you need to read the lot of, like, ear pain. For ear pain, Zinda Smart is so good. You just put 3-4 drops in a coconut oil, lukewarm coconut oil. Put it in a tab in a cotton, and you put it. It works wonders. I mean, especially in the middle of the night when the children cry and because of pain, ear pain, some infection or something. At least it gives you temporary relief immediately. So these are the things we don't know. People don't read. So that is why I'm saying it has one product which has so many. So Zinda Til Smart, if I sort of put it in one thing, Zinda Til Smart is not a product. It's a belief. It's a tradition that has been passed on to generations about trust. So Zinda Smart is more about trust than belief. And Zinda Til Smart, basically, when you asked me, the name was Zinda is life, the Til Smart is magic. So the name is Zinda Til Smart, live magic. Because it works for so many things, it was named as live magic.
Correct.
So that's how it is.
Man, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
down.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Hi, my name is Mohammad Imaduddin Farooqi. I'm one of the managing partners of Karkhana Zinda Til Smart. And I'm here on Way to News, Turning Point, to give you some insights about the company and basically inform about the product, and some entrepreneurs can take some advantage of it. I'll be very happy. Thank you.